The tip of the day is about replacing your measures without losing all the hard work you put into your calculations, into your color agents and visibility agents, etc. So here we got a couple of calculations, rank movement, and also this yellow color agent and some icon agents here. If we go into design mode, we can have a look at those calculations. Got a few on here. They're not really that complex, but we got two of those. But also we got some color and gauge agents here, 3 in total. And if we look into one of these, we can see that the conditions includes calculations actually. And for the last one, the visibility agent, also here we got something that includes a reference to a measure within a calculation. So if I want to replace my current revenue measure, the one that has been selected here, with my profit measure, if I do that in a traditional way, I would go into define mode of my object. I'll take out my revenue measure, but here you can see it comes up with a warning. You'll lose all of your calculations, etc. if you do this. Now, I actually did it here, and you can see that all the work I put into my calculations and agents has now been lost. So I just reopened my analysis. Let's go into source data, and still I would like to replace my revenue measure with my profit measure. But the small trick here is simply drag your profit measure on top of the already selected revenue measure. And now you can see that the revenue measure has been replaced by profit measure, even without losing any of your calculations or your color agents or visibility agents. Now let's go back to the revenue measure like this. And if you now want to replace your revenue measure, let's say with the cost measure, it's very hard because you can't see both measures at the same time on the list here. But if you go here and hide your dimensions list like this, you can see more measures, and now it's possible to just drag your cost measure upon your revenue measure like this. And once again, let's go back to the revenue measure. Now there's actually another way. As a designer user, you can use that you have maybe a criteria bar like this, and you know, if you right click here, you can add a so-called measure selector. Now it tells us that we're currently working on the revenue measure and those two objects. And now you can go here and replace your revenue measure with your, let's say, number of sales measure like this, and you actually get it replaced, as you can see here, in both objects. So that's another way of replacing your measures without losing your calculations, etc. And now that you have used your measure selector for replacing a measure, you might want to go here and remove it from the criteria bar. I hope you got inspired by this tip of the day. And also, why not subscribe to Target's YouTube channel for further tips of the day.